Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing the second part of the Python tutorials, and today we're going to be talking about functions and operators that you can use with integers and strings. Okay, so first talking about arithmetic operations that we can do with integers and with strings. So first for integers, you can do the regular addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and you'll notice that there's a fifth operator called the modulus operator, which basically just gives the remainder of an equation. So for example, 5 mod 2 would equal to 1 because the remainder of 5 divided by 2 is 1. So in the same way, if I were to do 7 mod 3, the remainder of 7 divided by 3 is 1, so 7 mod 3 would also be 1. So how you would use arithmetic operators in Python is pretty easy. You could either just say print like 1 plus 2, and this would print out 3. So if you run it, it prints out 3. Or you could assign two variables, so num1 equals 5, num2 equals 7, and say print num2 minus num1, and this would print 2 because you're basically saying print 7 minus 5, which would equal to 2. So that's the 5 arithmetic operations for integers, and one thing that you could do for strings is called concatenation. So concatenation is basically just adding two strings together. So as you can see, if I put rain, which is a string, plus bow, which is another string, you can obviously like add in the mathematical sense strings. So it would just combine them together and make them one word. So let's just do some practice based on the arithmetic operations that we just learned. So look at these four equations and think about what would be the output of them. You guys can pause the video and come back with your answers. So these are the answers. So of course, 5 plus 2, they're both integers, would be 7. 12 divided by 8, 1.5. 13 mod 5, again, the remainder of 13 divided by 5 is 3. And then the last one, because 5 and 5 are in quotes, so they're strings, you're going to concatenate them and then just form 5, 5 or 55. Okay, now let's look at some operations specifically for strings. So we already went over concatenation, but there are some other functions that you can use for strings. So one of them is len. So len is just saying the length of a string. So it's saying how many characters are in a string. So all you have to do is write len, and then in the parentheses, you're going to write the string, and then it's going to output how many of the characters are in the string inside of the parentheses. So in this example, you're trying to output the length of hello. So hello is 5 letters long, so it output the number 5. So then the next operation you can use or function is dot upper or dot lower. So for dot upper or dot lower, you don't put anything inside the parentheses. Instead, you say the string dot upper and then parentheses. So you can see in this example here, I'm saying hello dot upper, and it's gonna make whatever this word is over here all uppercase. So it's an all uppercase hello. And of course, dot lower would work in a similar way where it would make the entire string lowercase. So if I did this all uppercase dot lower parentheses, that would make the entire word just lowercase. And the last function here is dot replace. It works in a similar way, except you're going to put first this complete string, so the whole string, then you say that dot replace, and then in the parentheses, you're going to put two parameters. First, you're going to put the old string, and then you're going to put a comma, and then you're going to put the new string that you want to replace the old string with. So over here, I'm defining first my variable, so name equals Ruhi. Then I'm going to say name dot replace r comma s. So it's going to basically replace all the r's in my string with s's. Okay, now we're going to be talking about substrings in Python. So substrings use the concept of indices. So the important thing about indices is that let's say I have a word. Okay, so in English, you would say the first letter of this word is R, the second letter is U, the third letter is H, and so on. However, in any coding language, they use indices, meaning that they start counting at 0. So then they would say index 0 of Ruhi is R, index 1 of Ruhi is U, index 2 of Ruhi is H, and so on. So that's how coding and indices work. And this is important for substrings because substrings are basically calling a specific section of a string. So just a part of a string. So to do that, they need to use indices so that they know exactly from where to where the substring should be. So if I just want to call one single character, then let's say that I have the word Ruhi stored in the variable name, then I'd say name, and then just the number of the index of the character that I want. So let's say I want index number 3, then this would print I, because the letter at index 3 of my variable or my string is I. Then if I want to print more than a couple letters, but I know I want to start at the first index, then I can just put a colon and then my ending index. So that way I'll get just the first section of my word. So let's say I just want to print RU, then I would say name to index number 2. So when I say this, 2 is not included, meaning that H will not be included in my substring. Only from number 0 to the character right before the defined index or the ending index. So this would print RU. And then if you want to get the last section of a word, that would work similarly to the first section, except in this, you'll be defining the beginning index and then just leaving a colon, and then it'll take it all the way to the ending index. So what this means is that I'm defining the beginning index as 2, and in this case, it will include 2. So it does include the starting index, does not include the ending index in all cases. So it's going to include index 2, so it's going to include H, and then it's just going to go all the way till the end of my string, which is just one more letter to I. So if I say give me name 2 colon, that will print out HI. So this is for first section and last section. But if you want just a random section from the middle of your word, then you're going to have to define both the starting and ending index. So over here, I've defined my starting index as 1 and my ending index as 2. So again, the starting index is included, so U will be included in my substring, but ending index is not included. So it'll go right to the character before my ending index, which is still U. So this entire substring will just be U. Now let's do some practice using everything that we just learned about strings, where we have to transform the word hello into these following words. So first, how we're going to do this is that we're going to define a variable called word and say word equals hello. So now I have my variable. Then first, I have to make it into all uppercase hello. So for this, I'm going to use my dot upper function. So print word dot upper, and this will print in all uppercase hello, as you can see over here. Okay, next I have to transform hello into just HEL, so I'm going to use a substring for that. So I'm going to print word, and I want to print just the HEL, so I know that's the first section, so I can just put colon, and then my ending index will be second L over here, which is at index 0, 1, 2, 3, so index 3. Okay, and the next thing is I have to print out the second half of the word, so from the first L, so I'm going to say print word, and then I'm going to print starting from this L, so that's at index 0, 1, 2, and all the way to the end of the word. So that's my entire substring. And then next, it wants me to print ELL, which is in the middle of the string. So I'm going to define both a starting and ending index. So starting index is 0, 1. The ending index is going to be the O, which is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll print out ELL. So we can see my 3 substrings here. HEL, LLO, and ELL, exactly what I wanted. And my last substring is just one letter, and notice how it has to be uppercase. So we're going to combine a little bit of functions here. So we're going to first get the substring, so print word. So I want the E, which is at index 1. And now I'm going to say word1 dot upper, and this will convert the E into an uppercase E. There you go. And the last one is that I need to replace the H with a J. So for that, I'm going to use the dot replace function. So print word dot replace H with a J. Okay, so these are the 6 substrings that, or words that I was supposed to form out of my original word hello. And you can see these 6 are exactly what this was looking for. Okay, let's try one last exercise. So we have to do 2 things in this program. First, take user input for two integer variables. So if you don't know how to create user input, I talked about this in my previous video. So definitely check that one out for some more basic Python knowledge. And then you have to find print out their sum, product, and remainder of those two integer variables. And then you have to create a string variable, assign it the value rainbow, and then use substrings to print out rain and rainbow with the capital IN. So this is a solution for the first part. I created two integer variables, put my user input in them. Notice how I used int to cast my user input into an integer, so that then I could add, multiply, and find the remainder. And then the second thing I did was I created my string called rainbow. Then I first printed out just rain, and then I printed out this version with the capital IN. So I used substrings to first pluck out just the RA, then I plucked out IN, but used dot upper to make it uppercase, and then I concatenated the rest of the word, which is just bow. So this one used concatenation, substrings, and the dot upper method. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you. Bye.